Hey there, GCO podcast family. Kris Lindahl back with you. And we interrupt our normal broadcasting for this special episode. I started seeing something in the housing data that frankly stopped me in my tracks. And I realized that I needed to stop everything and do this podcast. I strongly encourage you to listen to it, to all of it, actually start keeping an eye on what's going on in the market. And please, please, please avoid the huge mistake that I talk about. Enjoy the episode. Let's go. Whatever you do, don't fall into the trap of IVS or inflated valuation syndrome. Hi, Kris Lindahl back with you. And today I'm going to reveal to you the number one mistake I see homeowners make when they sell their house. It also happens to be one of the top reasons why people tap our guaranteed cash offer program, and they would save themselves time, money, and stress if they'd come to us first before making this killer mistake. I decided to talk about this right away because of what I'm seeing in the most recent housing data. We follow this stuff every day. And basically, if you look at the number of houses coming onto the market, the number of pending sales, and the average time that properties are staying on the market before being bought, you can get a pretty good snapshot of what kind of market we're in. And I'm telling you, those numbers right now are pointing toward more of a buyer's market. In 2024, home sales were the lowest they've been since 1995. It's still early in 2025, but right now it's looking to be even less than that. Things can change, and they always do. But right now, that's what I'm seeing. And that's why it's so urgent that I talk about this huge mistake that so many people make. So what is that mistake? Well, I write about this in my guaranteed cash offer book. I even give it a name, IVS, or Inflated Valuation Syndrome. In a nutshell, people often overvalue their properties. We all want it to be a seller's market when we're the ones selling, right? That's only natural. And what's the harm? What's the risk? There's a lot of risk, actually. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of homeowners are going to gamble with the open market this year and realize they've made a gigantic mistake. So why do so many people suffer from IVS? I know this sounds like a pharmaceutical commercial. And by the way, that's IVS, not IBS. IBS is a whole different thing. But frankly, I'm not sure which one is more painful.
Millions of people suffer from IVS, or Inflated Valuation Syndrome.
I first realized that I had IVS when my real estate agent priced our house way too high. He said the market was strong, but then we had to lower the price when buyers said it was too high. We kept lowering it, and pretty soon people started thinking there was something seriously wrong with our house. Now we're stuck. We can't find the next place to go until we sell, and that's not happening anytime soon.
There's a cure for IVS, GCO, a guaranteed cash offer from Kris Lindahl Real Estate. Will you get your asking price on the open market? There's no guarantee, but there is a guarantee with a guaranteed cash offer. Get cash for your house fast, with no commissions or closing costs. Accept your guaranteed cash offer today at KrisLindahl.com.
Side effects may include extreme relief, happiness, confidence, and a strong urge to jump for joy.
But anyway, there are two reasons why people get inflated valuation syndrome. One, it's wishful thinking. We all want our properties to be as valuable as possible because they mean so much to us. That's an emotional, psychological reason. Two, we see valuations online and in our property tax statements, and we assume that those numbers are accurate. But think about the incentives at play. Real estate agents are motivated to overvalue your house because that means higher commissions for them. And local governments are incentivized to overvalue your house because it brings in more tax revenue. The truth is, value is determined by the market, by the national, state, and local economy, by the shape your property is in, by how much other properties in your neighborhood are selling for, by whether buyers feel confident in where things are headed or whether they feel a high level of uncertainty and volatility. Why is this such a huge problem on the open market? Well, let's say you discover that the market sees your house is overvalued by $100,000. Over the next few months, you may have to reduce the price multiple times. What happens now? Your house is sitting on the market for days, weeks, months. Consumers are seeing price reductions and wondering, what's wrong with that house? Which pressures you to reduce it even more. How do you break that vicious cycle? And remember, in the meantime, you're still paying the mortgage, the heating and air conditioning, all of it. So money is flying out the door. And even when you do get a buyer, now their inspector is finding things. They know they have the leverage. So now you're lowering your asking price even more. Then you have to shell out the commissions and closing costs. it's a total nightmare. The smart sellers know that the market has shifted, and that's why they're accepting guaranteed cash offers. They're seeing more for sale signs sitting in yards longer. They're following the latest news on interest rates, inflation, economic conditions, housing data. They're getting ahead of the market shifts, and they're accepting a guaranteed cash offer with a quick close so they can capture their equity, get out, and move on. Some people reach out, get their guaranteed cash offer, then get cold feet. And so many of them end up stuck and regretting that they didn't join the smart group and accept their offer right away, especially because those numbers change too. So here's where we're at. The spring market is just around the corner, and you might think that means your house is gonna sell fast and you're gonna get your asking price on the open market. And maybe you will, but maybe you won't. And based on the data I'm seeing, I would be ready for disappointment. You might find out that you have IVS and have an inflated idea of what your property is worth in today's market. Bottom line, I'm seeing some headwinds out there, and it's no surprise to me that we're setting more guaranteed cash offer appointments than ever before. If you need to sell your house, I would highly recommend setting an appointment with us ASAP so we can get a quick walkthrough and you can see what your guaranteed cash offer would be. Your takeaway is this: the market is shifting. I see it. Smart homeowners see it. And after this episode, I hope you see it too. Don't fall into inflated valuation syndrome. Make sure you know where the market is headed. Make sure you know what your property is really worth. And make sure you also put a value on the time and money you're going to have to spend to put it on the open market, as well as the stress you're going to feel while you wait and hope for a buyer, and the money you're going to shell out on commissions and closing costs. It all adds up. And the more you look at it, the better and better a guaranteed cash offer looks. There you have it, a pretty urgent podcast interrupting our usual flow, but I think it was important. I also hope you enjoyed that little ad in the middle, just having a little fun there. But the message is serious. IVS is real. And the way the market appears to be going, it could be an even bigger problem tomorrow than it is today. So don't let it happen to you. Be one of the smart sellers. See what your guaranteed cash offer would be at krislindahl.com. And together, let's see how we can save you time and help you avoid stress, risk, and uncertainty. I hope you found that information useful, and I'll see you next time on the Guaranteed Cash Offer podcast.